I can't believe it's been almost 2 years that I've said today we're going to be talking about the season premiere of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get right into this.
Numbers, and he didn't invite nobody.
But Dennis,
who's your assistant, Dennis?
well, Drew, I would be inauthentic if I didn't ask. Are you dating Dennis now?
What?
You guys, The Real Housewives of Atlanta is back with season 16. This has been one of the most anticipated seasons of all time. I mean, we had to go through reboots, through suspensions, through investigations, through firings, through this, through that. But it is finally upon us. I'm so happy. I was really looking forward to this new season, and it's finally here. So let's talk about The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 1. Alright, so we begin with like a cold opening intro with some clips of the women, some foreshadowing sounds, and then we see the one and only Porsha. Because Porsha is back to her throne on RHOA. Her daughter has been growing since we last saw her. Her marriage with Simon has now dissolved. But then the first real scene, per se, of the episode is Shamia. Now, I'm going to be honest, I never cared too much about Shamia. She was kind of just a friend of the show who I really didn't think much of. So I was just like, when I found out she was going to be a full-time housewife. But you know what? Now that she is a housewife, I decided to go into this episode with an open mind and as if I was kind of getting to know her again. And they show her house, and my. That is not a house. That's a mansion, okay? I think she said it's the second most expensive home ever sold in Georgia or something like that. It's something out of a movie. Stunning. Shamia introduces herself again. She says she's an actress, singer, dancer, and host. She just loves music, people, art. She's got 2 girls, a 5-year-old and a 15-month baby. Her husband's name is Gerald, and they've been together for 10 years, and obviously he's rich. Her house has an actual elevator, by the way. And then she begins to tell the whole story about how she met her husband. And I thought it was going to take up the whole episode because she talks a lot. But I really am getting... I really did like her this episode. Anyway, she's planning her birthday party, and I thought this was interesting. They've actually made Shamia sort of the anchor of the show. Because you know how usually on Housewives, you've got like that one person who everyone's sort of connected to in the cast. She's obviously been best friends with Porsha, so that's how Porsha's here. Through Porsha, she knows Cynthia and Kenya. She's met Kelli on a radio show, but now they're good friends. And Kelli is good friends with Britt, who Shamia also happened to know a while ago. Additionally, Drew has worked with Shamia in the past and some acting, and Drew is good friends with Angela Oakley. Shamia also happens to know her husband, Charles Oakley, through basketball. So again, Shamia is sort of the glue of the season, and you know, she puts the name Real Housewives on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So then we see Drew. I don't know why they brought back Drew Sidora. And it's kind of crazy to think that she's the only one who really survived the reboot. And she's been on 3 iterations of the show. That's crazy. So we see her, and then Miss Moore comes to her house, Kenya Moore. So Drew is still going through this divorce with Ralph. Oh gosh. So Kenya asks her, where's Ralph now? And there was some court order, and the judge ruled that he needs to live in the basement. So they're in the same house, but he lives in the basement. Apparently he has his own area. Does he go to the kitchen? I don't know. But yeah, so then they're catching up, Drew and Kenya, and Drew is sharing how she's doing some movies, some things like that. And then she brings up Dennis. Dennis as in Porsha baby father. So yeah, Drew's been working with him on music. Kenya asks, well, how does Porsha feel about this? And Drew's like, well, she's okay, but Denny's like, he's so passionate about music. He's amazing. He's been my saving grace. He's a stand-up guy. And here you go, Kenya, with the shade. She says, well, why didn't Dennis help produce anything for Porsha? I mean, she tried to sing, but that really didn't go anywhere. Listen, y'all, Drew is messy. I don't like this. I can feel the messiness in her tone as she's saying this to Kenya. Moving forward, we are at a tea party. This is Kelli's event. She's celebrating her daughter's birthday. Kelli has 4 daughters, a 17-year-old, an 11-year-old, and 2 8-year-old twins. So we see her talking to some family members, and she's telling them that she's almost officially divorced. She's been in the process of getting a divorce from her ex-husband Mark for about 2 years. She says that it was very ugly at one point. Like, police had to be called, and she didn't share too much, but you can tell that a lot of bad things happened, but good things that she's almost done with it. Kelli is originally from Baltimore, but she moved to Atlanta in 2003, and she opened up a restaurant in 2016, and it's called Nana's Chicken and Waffles, and she has several cooking products and a cookbook, and I love that. I really, really do. And then they show the party they're celebrating. They open the gifts for the daughter. So far, I really liked Kelli, loved her energy. Think that she's going to be a good addition. Okay, so then we see Porsha. So she is meeting up with the same attorney she met with in 2013 to get a divorce from Cordell. Well, now she's going again for the same reason, but to get a divorce from Simon. So Porsha says there was a lot of financial stuff that she wasn't in the loop of. She filed for divorce to protect assets. Her home is very important to her. They currently have 50-50 interest in the house, her and Simon. Right now, the issue that she's going through is that cease and desist that Simon filed so that Porsha can't film in the house. And they need to get rid of that because that is impacting her livelihood. Porsha says that she didn't know all this stuff about the fake green card and the crimes and all that stuff. Ultimately, communication started to diminish between them, and now Simon doesn't even want to communicate with her at all. Porsha is crying, and she says that she would have written till the end of the world for him, but the person that she thought she married is not real. All right, so moving on, Shamia goes to have dinner with Britt and Kelli, and we are properly introduced to Brittany a little more. I mean, we've heard a lot about her, but now it's time to actually get to know her. I think she's very pretty. I think she's very fun. She's like really like girly, like in the way of like kind of like bougie, I guess they could say it. Anyway, they're ordering their drinks, saying how much they love Shamia, her birthday, and then Shamia says that she's planning her big birthday party. And then they ask who's invited. So Shamia mentions Porsha and how she feels really bad for what Porsha is going through at the moment. So Kelli comes in hot. She says, well, she probably shouldn't have stolen that girl's husband. Oh! Shamia is like, no, that's not what happened. And Kelli says, I just think it's a fine line. Like, you go to some girl's house and she introduces you to her husband and now you're with him? Listen, y'all, I love Porsha. Is Kelli wrong? No, because that's how the perception was and she doesn't know Porsha, but, Anyway, Shamia then goes down the list of the others that she's inviting, and when she says Drew, Brittany says, I heard through the grapevine that Drew is dating Dennis. Kelli says that Dennis actually slid into her DMs. And then Brittany says that actually back in the day, she went on a date with Dennis. Oh my gosh. And that he gave her a diamond necklace. She says that she was a video vixen back in the day, but that nothing else happened. So I guess Dennis, he gets around. So then Shamia so that was it for that scene. We then see Shamia and Porsha go to the strip club. Porsha says that Simon still isn't talking to her. Shamia says that Simon actually just texted her. He congratulated her on getting a peach for the show. Porsha is just super upset that Simon is going to the vlogs and saying this and saying that. And Shamia says, I was just with some girls and Kelli did ask me about you stealing a girl's man. Porsha's like, what? Like, we're already starting off like that right out the gate? Porsha wasn't having it. So then Shamia tells Porsha as well about the word on the street being that Drew and Dennis are, seeing each other or whatever. And Porsha is shocked. that there's more to what she thought she knew, especially since Porsha's been there for Drew a lot in the past. So then it's the day for Shamia's party. We see all the girls getting ready. Now, may I say, there's a tiny clip of Shamia and her mom. And it happened to be raining. And Shamia starts to sing a song asking God to please take the rain away. She was with her mom and she just started, so rain, go away. I don't know. I just love that little moment. She sings good, and I don't know. I just loved her spirit. So then Porsha's FaceTiming 50 Cent, Cynthia, so they're catching up, and Porsha's talking about she's 44% Nigerian, and they're talking about the other girls, and Cynthia says, I heard Drew's going through a lot right now. And Porsha says, well, sounds like she's got a great support system. Dennis is there for her. Okay, so then Kelli is the first one to arrive to Shamia's party. She came early. And Shamia wants to sit down and talk to her just really quickly. And she says to her, listen, you're my friend. Porsha's my friend. But when you were saying things about Porsha and her man and all that, I just didn't really feel comfortable. And I did tell her. And Kelli says, oh, I know. I know because when Porsha went on her Amazon Live, yeah, she said something about she didn't really know too much about Kel and something. Like she kind of hinted that she kind of had a little bit of an issue with Kelli. But Shamia does understand that Kelli maybe feels some type of way about it because in her marriage, there was infidelity. So, it's another different perspective. So Cynthia arrives. She's flirting with the bartender. And she bonded with Kelli pretty quickly, especially because they're talking about their zodiac. And then Kelli tells her what just happened with her, Shamia, and Porsha and all that stuff. And then we meet Angela Oakley, married to basketball icon Charles Oakley. Now, I gotta say, there's something about Angela, and I might be totally wrong, but I just got this presence about her, almost like Lisa Vanderpump. I don't know, someone who's like mature, wise, elegant, sophisticated, like an HBIC type of way. I don't know. I just felt it. Although I did feel bad for her because she was having issues with her glue, with her wig glue. So Drew and Kenya arrived. Now let me tell y'all, from the moment Kenya walked in, you can already tell that things were not going to go well with her and Brittany. First of all, Kenya comes in saying hi to everyone except the new girls. They had to introduce themselves. Kelli says, hi, I'm Kelli. Brittany says, I'm Brittany. Then they mention how there are 4 divorces currently going on in the group. And here Kenya go asking Brittany, are you married? Like, I didn't see your ring. And Brittany says, yeah, this is my ring. That's actually my second one. And Kenya's like, oh, you've been married twice? It's from a different guy? And Britt says, no, this is an anniversary ring. And Kenya says, oh, an anniversary ring from the first ring. Ha ha ha. Kenya's going to throw some shade. Now, granted, I will say I could see how Kenya could be confused on that. But anyway, so it's an all-white party. Then Shamia comes out on a vibrant blue gown. The only one missing is Porsha. So it's been a while. The girls are inside the house, and then somebody comes to tell them all to go outside because there's a special surprise. So they go outside, and Shamia's gift is waiting for her. She goes to unveil a $430,000 Rolls Royce. That was a nice car. Oh my gosh. Now you guys, Shamia's super happy. She's over the moon. She just got this luxury car. She's looking at it. She's dancing on it and everything. And in that very moment, Porsha walks on in, and she sort of like goes and stands next to Shamia, like to say hi and all that. And some of the women are thinking 2 things. 1, how are you this late to your friend's party? And 2, like, don't steal her moment. Like, go stand in the crowd and pretend that you've been here for a while. But no, Porsha went right to her. Porsha does say that it's because there was a lot of traffic. She wasn't trying to be late intentionally. Now, the party did start at 6, and she got there at 8, so I don't know. Brittany then goes up to Kenya and says, Kenya, can I get a hug? You didn't give me one. And I was like, okay, Brittany, you're being a little annoying now. So Kenya then sits the newbies down because Cynthia just told Kenya what Kelli told her about the Shamia and Porsha and all that. So Kenya wants to know what was said. So Kelli says, well, all I asked was, why did Porsha steal that woman's man? So all the other women gather around the couch, and then Porsha sits down, and Kelli literally says to Porsha, the question is, why did you steal that girl's man? Porsha says, wait a minute, like, what's your name again? Like, there's no hi, how are you? What's your last name? That's how you get to know someone? Kelli then says, well, answer the question. And Porsha says, no, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Brittany then tries to, like, offend her, and she says to Porsha, Kelli's my friend. She's not trying to be nasty. Like, she's just trying to address the elephant in the room. And Porsha says, it's okay, I don't care anymore. They decide to then go upstairs on the elevator because there was too much noise downstairs, and they're sitting there, and then Shamia says to Drew, speaking of birthdays, I didn't get invited to your birthday party. And Drew says, oh, nobody got invited. Porsha says, well, I actually did get invited by Dennis. And Drew says, well, it was a surprise. My assistant was the one doing the inviting. And Shamia then goes right ahead and says it. She says to Drew, it would be inauthentic of me if I didn't ask, are you dating Dennis now? And boom, that's it. It says to be continued. So, you guys, this was the first episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reboot. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I loved the vibes, the energy. It felt fresh. It felt like a reboot. It really did. Like, it still has the element, because we still got Porsha and Cynthia, and we saw bits of Kenya. But I don't know. I gotta say, hands down, Shamia, I was really impressed by her. So I'm super intrigued. I can't wait for next week. But y'all let me know what your thoughts were about the first episode. Does it look like a promising season to y'all? What did you think of the newbies? All this, please let me know. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.